Wow, that was literally the worst Nintendo Direct I've ever seen. All right, now that we have that out of the way, let's figure out what we do next. What's up guys, welcome back or welcome in for the first time. I wanna let you know quickly before we jump into this video, I have moved from Twitch back to YouTube, sorry, for the live streams. So, I've started a dedicated streaming channel and I'll go ahead and link that at the end of this video and down below. But with all that said guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So, wow, like that Direct Mini was surprising in literally the worst way possible. And I don't really wanna spend much time complaining about it because there's plenty of that going on everywhere about this Direct, but I mean, it deserves to be complained about. That was terrible. Absolutely just awful. I don't know why Nintendo would put the name Direct on something like that. All that does is just tarnish the name Nintendo Direct. It was bad. Anyway, we need to figure out where we go from here. What is Nintendo gonna do with 2020 now that that is what they put out in July? Because I had high hopes for this July Direct, this rumored July Direct. I mean, it came true, but not a thing anybody said was gonna be in this Direct was in it. So where do we go? Okay, let's try to get a list of everything we kind of know about, and I think we can take it from there. Let's start with all the stuff that I thought might be in this Direct. And again, none of it was, but let's start with that. So remember, third-party stuff, that's what Nintendo told us it was gonna be. So the first few things that come to mind, obviously, No More Heroes 3. We didn't get any of that. I really thought that one was gonna be in this. I thought if anything was gonna be in it, that was like the definite, because that's a 2020 release date and we still know next to nothing about it. Doom Eternal. That's one I really thought we'd see here too. You know, when the game was announced, they said it was coming out the same day as the Xbox and PlayStation versions, then it was delayed, and now it's just pretty much disappeared. I figured that one would definitely be there, but again, none of that. So the next one we have, Bravely Default 2. Another one I thought would be here. This one seemed like a no-brainer too. Not here. Now the next one, a little more questionable, Bayonetta 3. You know, it is a third party, it's an exclusive, it's weird. You know, it's a weird situation. I thought maybe we might see that. Long shot, I know. But didn't see that either. So that's what I thought we might see in that Direct, which we didn't. So we have all that, plus the rest of the stuff that we know Nintendo is working on, or think Nintendo is working on. Breath of the Wild 2. I can tell you right now, with this, we're not seeing that game this year, and honestly, I'm worried now we may not even see it early next year. Possibly. But that game is not coming in 2020. I can tell you that pretty much for sure at this point. But then that raises the question, what Zelda are we gonna get this year? But that is a topic for another video, which I've probably already covered, but hey, we'll probably do it again. Metroid Prime 4. Not coming this year, but you know, we could get an update. We could see something, possibly. And there's some other stuff out there, but a couple of the big things that we keep hearing rumors about are Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which I keep hearing people say that that's supposed to be coming out in September. I mean, it's a port. It doesn't need, you know, a ton of build up, I guess, but you would think that they would at least mention it. I don't know. And then of course, you know, we have the rumors from Mario 3D World as well, which sound like those are true. And then the Mario 35th Anniversary Collection that we're supposedly getting from Nintendo this year as well. So at this point, with all of that, what do? What does Nintendo do? I mean, is any of this even coming? I mean, you know, is the year done? I think there are a few scenarios that we should look at as real possibilities, and some of them we're probably not gonna like, but I'll go ahead and run through what I have here, kind of what I'm thinking, you know, worst case scenario, best case scenario, and then probably, you know, somewhere around the middle is what I think is actually gonna happen. But I mean, you know, with Nintendo at this point and what they've been doing lately, who really knows? Like, who knows what they're gonna do? I'm honestly done trying to guess. Well, I guess I'm not done trying to guess because I'm about to guess right now. But so here's where we'll start. The 5 games that they showed in this Direct Mini, they chose those games. Why did they choose those games? With everything else that they have that I just listed, why those 5 games? So worst case scenario, best case scenario, let's start with the worst. The worst case scenario is they just don't have anything ready, and we're not gonna be getting really anything else from Nintendo the rest of the year, which is a very, very scary thought, but it's a slight possibility. Now, I don't think that's what's gonna happen, but it's it's definitely a possibility. And I know Nintendo's said a few things that kind of go against that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later because I definitely want to touch on that. But let's jump to the opposite side of the spectrum here. Maybe Nintendo has been putting up all these, you know, duds, like this Direct, the Bakugan thing after the Treehouse. Oh God, that was awful. Maybe they're just getting all this little stuff out of the way for one giant blowout Direct in, you know, early August, maybe the first, second week of August, a blowout Direct with everything we want to know about just to kind of kick things back off, to get things going again. Possibility. Now, what that would do for them as far as, you know, their fans are concerned would be massive. That would change everything that's been going on right now, and, you know, they'd be totally redeemed. But I'm not holding my breath on that one. That is just a scenario, especially now with what we've seen, that's just a scenario that's pretty much too good to be true. But let's say if that happens, I mean, they would still have enough time to, you know, put the little bit of marketing together that they would need, and it wouldn't be much at that point. You know, they'd literally be announcing stuff and it would be dropping, you know, right after that. So, like, they're running out of time. So if it doesn't happen soon, that's definitely not gonna happen. Probably not gonna happen anyway, but if something like that were to happen, it needs to happen fast. Okay, so, you know, that's like the best case and worst case. Let's talk about some stuff, you know, somewhere in the middle and probably somewhere closer to what's gonna happen. Now, I don't think we're getting nothing from Nintendo for the rest of the year. That is just, I mean, I don't know, maybe we are getting nothing. Who really knows? But my gut tells me that we are going to get more from Nintendo this year, and they're probably gonna be announced a lot like Paper Mario was announced. I'm guessing if we don't get that big blowout Direct, we'll probably get a Twitter announcement for, you know, something. Maybe something in the next few weeks coming out at the beginning of September. And then maybe we'll get another one, you know, later on, a couple weeks later. But I don't think Nintendo's just gonna roll into this holiday with nothing. I don't think they're gonna just let the last half of this year just sit there. No games, no nothing. That just does not make any sense, unless they have nothing, which let's hope they have something. Another thing I think needs to be addressed here, kind of on Nintendo's side, is they may be holding this stuff back and announcing it late because they just don't want to put the money into marketing right now. With the pandemic going on and, you know, a lot of people still out of work, people don't really have the extra money to spend on things like that. And, you know, that trickles back to Nintendo as well. They, you know, they're having great sales, but it doesn't make a ton of business sense to be throwing a bunch of money into marketing right now with the way things are. So, you know, just real quick, wanted to mention that may not be the case here, but it is something to think about and something to keep in mind because, you know, they're not, you know, it's not just one person making these decisions. They have to make sure that, you know, these shareholders are happy and, you know, people who are putting their money into this, investors, are happy and they're okay with where the money's going, especially with the economy and the way things are in the world right now. Things are a little tricky with that. Now, I may be completely wrong about that, you know, because you look at Microsoft, you look at Sony, they're both releasing consoles this year, and they haven't seemed to slow down at all. So, I don't know. What do I know? Anyway, like I said, real quick, just wanted to mention that. May not be an issue, might be. Anyway, let's move on. But there's one thing that's kind of been bothering me, and it goes back to the Direct Mini that they gave us right at the beginning of the pandemic. If you guys remember, you know, everybody was kind of thinking that there was gonna be a Direct, and we didn't know, and nothing was announced. And then they shadow dropped it that morning, and it had this little message I'll put right here on the front at the beginning, which is fine. Totally respect it. Awesome, thanks for letting us know. You know, at the time, I think that needed to be said. It kind of gave us all like, oh, okay, they're just having some problems with the pandemic. Fine, you know, we can all relate. You know, it's been hard on everybody. So, you know, no big deal there. Now, Nintendo went on record at a shareholders meeting, was it last month or maybe early this month? I can't remember. But they said that the pandemic didn't affect anything, that all the games that they had in line are still in line. Then we get this, again, on the Direct that they put out the other day. So I have two questions about that. The first one is, if the pandemic didn't affect anything, why are you putting that on this Direct too? I thought we were over that. And the second question I have is, if it didn't affect anything, then where are the games? What is going on? Like, none of this stuff really lines up. It's very strange to me that they tell the investors one thing and then put this out to us. It's like, you know, we can see both of these things happening. So which is it? What's going on? Where are the games? That's just very, very strange to me. And I don't quite understand why they would say one thing, but then kind of tell us the opposite, sort of. And they're also kind of telling us the opposite by just what they're doing. Like, they don't have to say anything. We can clearly see that there's an issue somewhere. I don't know what the problem is and where it is, but it would just be nice to know. You know what I mean? Like, I wish they would just say something to us. Just for once, speak directly to us and let us know what's going on. You know, it's like, Nintendo, I can see that you have read my text message, but you still haven't replied. What's up with that? But guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Let me know what you think about all this stuff in the comments below. Do you think Nintendo does have a problem internally and they're just kind of keeping it under wraps? Or is there a master plan and we're all just so impatient that we're losing our mind? I don't know. Like I said, let me know down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on this video. Make sure you are subscribed to both channels, and we will see you in the next one.